Pour me a cup of that Joe. Welcome to the Teacher's Lounge, baby. Let's start the show.
I mean, I guess I'll give you $300. I mean, I thought the poke shop was doing pretty good.
Well, we've hit on some hard times.
Well, what's the $300 going to do? You can't pay rent with $300. You can't buy food with $300.
Are you going to offer some that lady who got food poisoning?
Is it sweepstakes or something?
Hey, let him explain himself.
No.
Easy.
Keep guessing, and I'll tell you when you nail it. You've guessed sweepstakes so far.
You're going to give that lady who got food poisoning $300 cash as a settlement?
I already offered her a cash settlement.
You're using
She turned it down. She wants to take you to trial.
Yeah, and I looked her right in the eyes, and I said, fine. I'll see you in court, baby.
God,
you can't be in court again.
It's
None of
almost
us
like
can be
you're
in
setting
court.
up situations just to go to court these days.
No, they just keep finding me. I feel like it's more of a synchronicity in my life that court wants me to be there.
Do you think, is $300 the perfect amount to make the bathroom functional again? Because it opened, you had a big grand opening before the bathroom was functional, and it's 6 months in and you still don't have a functional
Were you talking about the
bathroom.
grand opening of the restaurant or the grand opening of the bathroom?
Why, are you going to have, you said at the grand opening of your poke restaurant.
Come back next week for our bathroom grand opening.
That's right. And we were not ready to do it.
Have you broken ground on the bathroom yet?
Well, we did a soft open for the bathroom, and reviews were bad.
Yeah.
But I remember the first review was no toilet or sink or walls.
Where's the bathroom?
WTF? Yeah.
Yeah, you kind of just you had a blueprint of the building on the wall, and it sort of had demarcations on the ground where there would be a bathroom,
Right.
and you just allowed people to walk in and see the blueprint so they would get an idea of what the bathroom would be. But there was no bathroom.
No, it was like an open house for the future. But people came in. The problem is, I think I misled people because I said, come in ready to use a bathroom. So
You had people actively holding their pee and poop.
Yeah,
They were.
so a lot of people were dancing around, crossing their legs.
It said, come not having had.
Yeah, come not having had.
Having done.
And then
Come not having done.
come not having done, come having had food.
So you wanted
And
people
drink.
stuffed with pee and poop,
Yeah,
promised them a bathroom.
yeah.
This is crazy.
Shoot. Hey, sorry, we're recording, guys.
Oh, fuck.
God.
God damn it. This happens
sorry.
to us every
We're
fucking
going to sound
time.
like fools.
Look,
Let's just assume every time we're talking
From
to the
now on, all right.
in
From
the
now on,
microphone,
when we
we're being
walk
recorded.
into the room, we're recording.
I mean, I swear to God, this has happened to us every time, and we don't learn.
It has. It's happened 10 times.
Now let's keep it clean.
Yeah, thank you so much for tuning into the Teacher's Lounge yet again. This is a podcast as pertaining to issues relevant to Hamilton High School students, and we, of course, are your hosts. Howard Levis, ex-biology teacher and now current newspaper head editor.
Hi, Bill
Editor, you could
Cravy,
say.
Editor.
former basketball coach, former ostrich, current track coach.
That's right. Sam Weatherman, former driver's education. That was stripped. Also former ASB. Now the head of motivation. If you've got a problem, come on down to my portable.
And that is not what you're thinking, a portable trailer. It is a portable potty.
Yeah, so it's a portable potty that I work out of. I work out of an Andy Gump potty. And don't worry about the smell. It has those little slots at the top, so we're doing just fine.
Little tiny slots.
Little tiny slots.
It's, and then you're not paying the monthly dumping duty. Is that true? It's full up?
That's right. I'm not paying. I am given a free office space. And I'll say, this is a little roomier than my last office. So, there's plenty of good stuff going on.
Your last
there.
office was that little place where the ironing board folds up into the wall.
That's right. I had what they called...
It was a Murphy
I
office.
had a Murphy office. I had a Murphy office that was, simply a fold-away desk / office space. I would sit in there and sort of get my work done. Great for sleep.
Yes.
Todd Padre, formerly theater, AIDS survivor.
Oh, wow.
And current women's studies professor.
Wow, survivor, so you're past it.
So you got the
So you're
cure from
clean.
Shkreli and it's stuck?
Yeah, the cure stuck. Shkreli hooked me up, and I'm doing great. So take that, Magic Johnson.
Well, that is sort of the thing with AIDS is, can you get the vaccine to stick?
Yeah, can you get it to stick? And for me, it's stuck. So congratulations. Thank you.
That's great. You know, that's a big win for you.
Yeah.
I needed one.
Yeah.
I needed a big win, and I got it. I am. The doctor gave me a filthy bill of health, but said I don't have AIDS anymore.
By
so.
filthy-
We've always been arguing that it was never AIDS, but it was eczema. But you assured us it was AIDS.
That's right. Well, I was showing a lot of symptoms of AIDS: itchy skin,
patchy red
rashes.
Yeah. Scaliness on your elbows and knees.
One doctor told you this is eczema.
Yeah.
That was a big side
And
effect.
then I kicked him into a big hole and said, "This is Sparta."
Which, for someone who was trying to help you, maybe not the best thing.
I can't believe that movie, that screenwriter saw that and it spawned that movie.
Yeah, he wrote all of 300 based on me kicking my doctor into a huge hole. When I said it at the time, no one understood why I screamed, "This is Sparta," and kicked a doctor into a hole.
Right, but he wrote backwards and made it all make sense.
Yeah.
That's a bummer you were recast at the last minute.
That's right. Well, there was some on-set drama.
So you were there originally.
Yes, yeah. I mean, we had shot. It was like Back to the Future. I had shot that roll out probably 2 months, and we were at the end of month 2, and I kind of got into it with the DP over the way I was being presented on.
And who was
camera.
this
it wasn't
was
this
filmed.
DP, this was David O. Russell, right?
What's that?
Famous director David O.
Yeah,
Russell.
David O. Russell and I got into it. You can see the video on YouTube.
I thought that was
Lily Tomlin.
the guy from American Psycho. No?
Christian Bale?
Is that a different video?
That's a different video.
What's
Oh,
Yeah.
shoot.
Yeah. Well, similar to Christian Bale, I went off on a guy for being in my eye line, too. There's about 14 videos of me going off on people.
And this
on
was
set.
actually an eye doctor who was there on set making sure that your eyes were doing okay.
Yeah, I had called him in to check my eyes. We weren't shooting.
Because you were never looking at your scene partner, right?
That's right. And they said he's either a bad actor, and I said, well, there's another option. Maybe I got bad eyesight.
Right.
You are old.
So they brought in the set optometrist.
You are old.
And I lost it on her.
You said, better too! I remember this.
Yeah. And Better 2 became a meme. And
Congratulations
yeah.
on landing on your feet.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. And on beating this eczema or AIDS. That's really good. It's been a really good week in a lot of ways.
Hey, either way, the swelling is down, so that's positive.
It's been a really good week.
I don't know if this has been a good week. I mean, we are all...
I'm trying to look on the bright side. As you guys know, I had a busy week, if nothing else. I was making the national syndicated radio circuit, trying to get people around the country to be interested in our school newspaper. Had a
Yeah, you took on a sort of a jackass style promotional tour where you were like, I will make this paper work if I go on to big shows and humiliate myself.
Yeah,
is that what happened?
Yeah, exactly. A few different ones. I went on Harry and Bean. You guys know Harry
Is this
and Bean.
different from Harry Bean?
Yes, these are two different shows. There's Harry Bean, which is too conservative for my tastes. But Harry and Bean.
Wait, is this
Harry
Harry's
Bean is a straight up racist.
Yeah, Harry Bean is a racist who has been given a national platform on the Blaze Network.
Well, we all donated to it.
accidentally.
But
we're
I went
all
on-
trying to donate to Harry's Bean.
Harry's
the Antique
Bean-
Roadshow style show with a man who's obsessed with this one bean.
It's just like Antiques Roadshow, where a guy just shows his bean over and over again. It's a old lima bean, and he's
thing
like,
is,
he
they
keeps
switch
unveiling
out-
it and going, "Wow, this is rare."
They switch out the
Well, he's pulling
the
a
other
new
part.
one out of the bag. He's got a bag of them, and he keeps treating it like it's a brand new.
We love this show. We'd give it $1 million if we could. Harry's Bean. Season 50, please.
But then,
Fingers crossed.
but then after I went on Harry and Bean, I had a great time, did a few goofs with those fellas. I did end up getting on Ryan's Roses.
This was unbelievable. You made it to Ryan Seacrest. You disguised yourself as Cord Overstreet, the actor from Glee, going on to promote his new single.
I did, and I said, you know what? Hey, I know I'm here to promote my single, but I'd also like to do the other bit you normally do with everyday people, which is
you pulled
Ryan
off your
Roses
disguise, your wig, and revealed yourself.
I did, and I said, I'd love to do a Ryan's Roses. I actually had not heard the show before, so I did not understand exactly what Ryan's Roses was.
Because usually they do that with unsuspecting people who don't know that. And
they usually do that with a person who's got a significant other who is. They suspect is cheating on them.
Right. They call and offer this person a bouquet of roses, and they say,
who do you want to send it to? And if the unsuspecting person, often me, does not say their wife or significant other and then gets humiliated.
This is crazy that you made it on the Ryan's Roses. You actually used a hookup that you had.
That's right.
Todd.
I'm kind of in with them now because they've humiliated me so many times. I've got their contact.
I can't believe that you don't always send the roses to whoever you're currently dating.
Every time I get the call, I'm like, this couldn't be a Ryan's Roses.
You can't do it again, yeah.
I got to send these to that woman at the coffee shop.
Your role on Seacrest Show is very interesting. You're kind of the only person that he does sort of a Howard Stern's freaks with.
recurring I'm
character. Like one of Stern's freaks, but for Seacrest.
You're one of Seacrest's freaks.
Yeah. But, anything for the art form, I love morning radio, and it's a real art form, and so I appreciate contributing. But so, Howard, you were on there.
I was on.
You went on to promo the paper.
To promo the paper, and I just, I actually had him call a student, the head student editor on the paper,
right,
and ask her who she'd like to. Bert, yes.
Her name's Bert.
Her name is Bert.
Bertie.
It's Bertie.
Yeah.
Oh, I've been calling her Bert.
It's fine. I had to call her.
This is Bertie Ernie.
Yeah, it's Bertie Ernie.
Bertie Ernie.
Yeah,
I've been calling her Bert Ernie.
Had him call her to see, just to get the Hamilton newspaper's name out there. This segment for me wasn't about actually participating in the activity. Right. It was just to get Hamilton High School newspaper, the name just hammered home on the widest audience possible.
Yes, big audience. Right.
It is the whitest audience possible, right?
It is. It is very white.
Yes.
So you called a underage girl to do the Ryan's Roses bit, and what happened?
I made the mistake of not informing her that it was going to happen, so she was confused. And she ended up actually sending roses to her mistress or mister. And I ruined her relationship.
So Bertie Ernie sent Bertie Ernie.
Because she was dating. What were you gonna say?
Snuffy Luppy.
Yeah, she was dating Snuffy Luppy, captain of the basketball team. And she did not say to send the roses to him. She said send them to somebody else.
She sent him
who
to
did she say? Yeah, Big Bird.
Big Bird.
Big Bird, right?
Yeah.
Now, is Big Bird that boy's name?
Yeah.
That's what
first name.
Okay.
Big Bird.
Big Bird what? Sesame Street?
I believe his
What's
last
his
name
last
is.
name?
I believe it's not spelled Sesame Street, but it is pronounced Sesame Street.
It's spelled ROBERTS, right?
Yeah.
Yes. But it's pronounced Sesame Street.
Sesame Street.
Yeah. Phonetically.
But anyway, I ruined their relationship and felt really bad about it. But I will say this. It was a terrible experience, but something extremely positive came out of that. The next morning, got an email in my inbox from
email?
An email.
Wow, we haven't got emails in years.
Hey, come on now.
I have it.
Well, anyway, this email was addressed to me, and it offered to get 33,000 copies of my newspaper distributed in the country of Mexico.
What?
Yes, and it was signed by El Chapo himself, the Mexican cartel.
God.
My man.
He said,
buddy, coming through.
Yes, he said, would love to do business with you again, and I promise this isn't about drugs.
We got El Chapo gave us his tunnel recipe.
Yep.
That's right. Well,
And we've had his tunnel recipe, and that shit is.
and you'll never guess the secret ingredient.
You'll never guess it. Some people say shovel, and we say fuck off.
So the last sentence that Chapo gave you in that email was, "This is not about drugs."
Yes, he said this is not illegal activity. I think he might be trying to cover his butt a little bit, but either way, whether it's drugs
he's
or
laundering money.
it's either he's laundering money or he just wants to spread the good news in Mexico with 30,000 copies of the paper every month. So I mean, I'm taking it as a positive, and until something bad happens, I'm going to keep looking at it as a positive.
Are you going to make Mexico pay for it?
I believe Mexico's already chosen to pay for it.
Well, I think
but if they
better.
try to backtrack on that, I'm going to say, hell no, you're paying for it.
Yeah.
I think this is great because Howard and I are sort of teaming up a little bit here because I took out a full-page ad.
Yes,
I took
saw
out a
this
full-page ad, and I'm taking advantage of this new captive audience.
And your ad is Michael Jordan or a lookalike in the Air Jordan pose.
Bad Michael Jordan lookalike.
Another ripoff of a Nike advertisement.
I'll say he almost looks like a Michael Jackson lookalike.
well,
It's honestly a Michael Jackson impersonator trying to dunk.
Well, as John was saying earlier, email can be confusing. You know what I mean?
I'm constantly confused. I'm tooling around my junk folder all the time.
Absolutely. Because you think that's where the good stuff's going to be. Stuff got filtered, stuff's down here. But anyway, so
there's a treasure trove in junk sometimes, and I can't seem to find it in my email.
That's okay. It's fine. That's okay. As long as you're looking, buddy. As long as you're looking. I'm hoping that as the paper circulates, people have some questions about the weird ad, and they sort of...
So you're trying to you're trying to get out of the school and maybe do
international
this
acclaim.
full time?
Yeah, absolutely.
Wow.
I'm trying to show the school that, I'm not just bound by their borders.
Yeah.
Because one of your most recent people you gave motivational speech to, she's been doing very well. And
That's right.
and sending the props, it's kind of your Leah Remini.
Yes.
If you will.
Yes, I need someone like Leah Remini who's busting down Scientology to sort of bust up what I'm doing.
Yes,
You know what I
yeah,
mean? To
because
sort of-
she's claiming she recently she
You got it.
she did something very good. And blamed your teachings. Not blamed, but
blame
pointed
is
to
a good
your
word.
teachings.
I say blame. I absolutely say blame. If someone caused you harm, you need to blame them for it, right?
Yes.
But if that same harm made you a stronger person, you need to blame them for that success too.
Yes.
So yeah,
You should
I
never
hurt this
own your
woman.
own successes, is basically
I hurt
what
this
you're
woman
saying.
a little bit. She came to the boiler room. She got hot. She lost all her hair. Her fingernails are gone. Her shoes, the toes peeled back.
Whoa.
And, she had some physical pain, and she blamed me for it, and that is why she has risen like a phoenix.
But her paintings really took off.
Exactly. Her
Yeah.
paintings that are just horrifying. Horrifying.
They're
Showing
nightmarish.
They're absolutely nightmarish. The first one was called The Big Nightmare. And there's just a picture of me screaming in her face. And it's not so much a picture of me, but an interpretation of
Right.
me. It looks somewhat like the devil. Some call him Beelzebub.
Some. We
Some.
do. That's what we
do.
call the devil.
Yeah, that's what I said she should have titled the painting, Beelzebub.
Yeah,
But-
not the big nightmare.
Yeah, not the big nightmare, but so anyway,
But
it's
it's
working.
in the Louvre. It is showcased.
Yeah, they threw it up in the Louvre.
Put it right on top of the Mona Lisa.
The big nightmare is covering up the Mona Lisa.
And honestly, I'm hearing people aren't missing the Mona
It's
Lisa
doing
at all.
pretty well.
Yeah, I heard people be like, good, I'm glad it's not here anymore.
Yeah. For the first time, Italian papers are printing the Mona Lisa ugly, and I'm for it. I'm for
Italy's getting in on
Italy's
this.
jumped in on this.
Absolutely.
All the way over there in Italy.
So I'm breaking borders literally, and people are starting to see what's right.
And she should blame you for that success. You're welcome, I say.
Yeah.
On your behalf,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Well, I'll take
Congratulations.
the blame. Absolutely.
I see. That's what I mean. We're having a great week.
Well,
I know you're not.
the track team is not doing well.
Scandal.
after the Cheetahman.
Cheetahman.
Was there
Cheetahman.
Why don't you say it again?
Sorry. That's what my wife calls me in the bedroom, Cheetahman.
Cheetahman?
No.
Well, she doesn't. That's what I'm trying to get her to call me.
wanted your
Call
wife
me
to call-
Cheetahman when I shoot big ropes.
Stop it. We're
She
not
won't
going
do
there.
it.
We're not going there.
I say keep it clean. That's for me.
So when you ejaculate, you tell her what to call you?
Yeah. I say, call me Cheetahman.
And she's
Wow.
just silent.
Yeah, she didn't say anything.
She refuses.
Yeah, she
So,
refused.
but you
Anyway.
did have a big Cheetahman scandal.
Yeah, Cheetahman.
Your
well,
star runner.
as you all know, my star every event runner, Cheetahman.
He's breaking records.
He's breaking
left and
school
right.
records.
The
A lot of
4x1.
people say he's an actual cheetah, and to them I say, fuck off.
Yeah.
Fuck you. He's not an actual cheetah.
That's
He's
right.
just a Jewish man who runs on all fours and occasionally looks like a cheetah if you catch him in the showers.
Jewish boy, you mean.
Which
Jewish
you shouldn't
boy.
mean. Yeah, Jewish boy. He got caught licking himself during the national anthem.
Right, and a lot of people are saying that
It was a silent protest.
Silent protest.
And they couldn't be more wrong.
But the team, in unison, all sat down and started licking themselves too to support him.
yes,
And so-
all these boys started licking their own balls during the national anthem, and obviously
To
the
kind of
news.
poke light at it and say, "Oh, sure, are we all cheetahs?
Yeah.
No one on this team is a cheetah.
No. And the right wing is really upset about this.
O'Reilly's involved.
O'Reilly is going to be here this afternoon
Really?
at the game to bust me for anti-American
my-
protest.
He's throwing you in the no spin zone.
Yeah. I'm going to be live on the No Spin Zone. That's one of his
you see what a
segments.
huge opportunity this is?
I do see. I see.
Levis, you're about to be a magnate
Listen,
of
if you want to
information.
get in the background, and
I might start a beef with O'Reilly.
honestly,
I will
need all the
arbitrate
help.
that. I will arbitrate that right away.
I need all the help I can get because that was not a protest. We've got nothing.
You've got nothing against the national anthem.
No, it's my favorite song.
Yeah, it's a good tune. But that is a bummer that it's sort of casting some
Yeah,
shadows
so
on the
obviously-
track team right now.
Obviously, the school sidelined Cheetahman, and we've been losing.
And when you say sideline, they have put him in a cage.
They've put Cheetah, which I think is unbelievable.
I think it's barbaric.
unbelievable.
If we
It's-
believe that this is a student,
Yes.
this is barbaric.
If they don't believe that this is a cheetah and they are buying that this is a student and they put him in a cage, this is unacceptable. And I don't use this tone very often, but I'm mad.
Good. Let it out.
Should be. Yeah. It's
Use
a
your
tough
heart.
time.
So
sorry that happened.
I'm not delivering on my promise, and we're losing. Chris Craig threw a shot put into the back of his head, knocked himself out.
Yeah.
So we lost that event too. So I'm on the chopping block.
No, come on. You'll pick it
You'll
back
make it
up. I
tough.
mean, you just gotta go back to what you know. You know what I mean? Where have you found success in the past?
Being an ostrich.
But before that,
Before that.
Making my own candy.
Well, I'm maybe
Yeah.
before that, but yeah, that could work.
that sounds like a good
Before that,
option. Yeah.
cleaning off my counters.
You found success doing that.
Yes, a lot of it. Y'all saw my infomercials
We did, yeah.
that I filmed myself.
Yeah, we did.
Y'all were in the audience.
Yeah, you did the counter jam, right?
Yeah. You want? Yeah. This is the counter. Look at it go. It can be cleaner. Yes, ho. that was the problem with the ad.
But you
I called my co-host a ho.
I know. I was gonna say I don't mean to segue on a negative note, but "ho" has become a pretty bad word around
Todd-
campus these days.
a
Todd
bad
Padre, head of women's studies.
You went on an anti-ho tirade.
Yeah,
You've
that's
really.
right.
become a feminist? You've gone from worst to first.
I went from worst to first. I love women now, and and I think that they should be our equals. And frankly, if you're gonna call them a hoe, then you're a whore. and I believe
You've had this
that.
printed. You had that saying. In the middle of the night, you came in and painted that before the big game Friday at the gym.
In the end.
I say, if you call these women a hoe, you're a whore. And then I called out Imus by name. I said, Don Imus, these are not nappy-headed hoes. They're happy-headed women.
And
You were
he
like
said,
6 years too late
he said,
on
man,
this.
I've been trying to get over this for 6 years. Why are you dragging me back into the
I
news?
said, Imus,
there he
welcome back
was.
to the limelight, baby.
dragged right back into it. You know, Imus can't put down a fight.
Is your class teaching you about why this is bad? Have they given you a lesson?
Well, they're
Because-
still following me around in my day-to-day life and showing me every move I do wrong. And
Yeah,
so,
because last week you screamed at a Costco sample man and
Yeah.
said this should be a woman's
I said a
job.
woman can do this too, sir. So this week they followed me to I stormed into a cheerleading practice. And I
Stormed in?
Those are famously guarded.
Famously.
At this
and I
school.
got through security.
Because the cheerleaders at our school, national champions, they don't want their routine getting out.
And
Because a
they're-
lot of people are stealing their
protective,
routine.
very-
And there have
protective.
been assassinations in the past, so they
There
can.
was
right.
an assassination of someone who they thought was stealing their routine. They
Well,
killed
you
a
remember
man
when the cheer coach, Miss Chartreuse, got assassinated? She was killed right
in
there.
Dallas.
Yeah, right in Dallas. Right
During-
near.
During a parade after the national
You know
cheerleading
what?
competition.
You know what?
Yeah.
You know
The
what?
grassy
Eerily-
blank.
Yeah.
You know what?
You know what we're talking about.
Yeah.
I can't say
Eerily
it, but
similar.
the grassy blank.
Miss Chartreuse, the cheerleading coach, was shot in the back of a head in a convertible with her wife doing a press tour in Dallas.
Near
right.
the.
Grassy.
The school book deblankatory. you know.
You know,
I think you know what we're getting.
we don't want to
at.
be crass.
Let's just say it was a lot like some other assassination. John F. Kennedy blank. You know.
You know who we
they know.
mean.
The blank of the United States.
Of a blankica. You know.
Blank Otis.
I think we've given you enough hints.
Good one.
You know, but Todd, it sounds like you're making actually very, very steady progress into
I mean, worst to first. You heard it
Yeah.
here. On the other end of that, in my, as you know, I've gotten into competitive tickling.
Right.
And
Yes, this was a big bomb you dropped last week.
Unfortunately, last week, one of the people I was competing with died while I was tickling them.
No.
So there's a
Oh,
major
so you've become a
investigation.
tickler? I thought you were tickled.
Well, you go both ways in that competition.
Oh, I
you have
see.
to.
Oh, my emphysema! Did somebody just fart and it sounded like a Coke opening? Like a little... Because there's not a Coke in the house.
There's not a Coke anywhere in the house. Anybody fart?
Who was it? Raise your hand on three.
It
One,
was
two,
me.
three.
It was me. I
All
did it.
four hands up.
All four hands.
Wow, okay,
We all
so
did
we
it.
all did it in unison. That's what made that sound. Okay, so you were tickling someone and he died?
He died, and I think it's incidental death. But they're saying
You say
that,
accidental?
what's that?
Accidental?
Incidental.
Incidental.
So it was like at a hotel?
Yeah, well, we do all the tickling competition.
You bought it?
What's
you
that?
bought it at a hotel?
Yeah.
Incidental?
Yes, it was an incidental death. It was
So you had to pay for it?
It was like eating a Toblerone or watching late night porn. It was an incidental death. He
And
died
that's
at a
shame.
hotel.
It just goes straight onto your credit card. They don't even ask
And
you.
I figured they'd just throw it on the
It
bill
wasn't
and I
picked up
move
by
on with the
production?
day. No, it wasn't picked up by production.
So you're on the hook for this death bill?
They gave me a per diem and that's all. And I'm on the hook for the bill for this guy's death.
Oh my God! So you're planning his funeral?
Yeah. So anyway, if I could, I'm doing.
Is
a
that what the
funeral.
$300 is for?
Oh my
If I
God!
could get
You liar!
300, because we're not going to go cheap on the funeral. I need $300 for it. And it's
wow, that's going to be a gorgeous funeral.
It's going to be a beautiful affair.
Hey.
Yeah.
That's good. That's good. You know, in a certain sense, that's good. I'm glad you're actually...
Are they blaming you for the death? Or...
No, they're just making me cover incidentals on it. They said, well, we'd be even. And I said, that's very fair.
That's fair.
Yeah.
That's very fair.
Can we just take a second and just all of us look at each other?
Yeah.
Let's do right. Let's be better.
Yeah, let's be...
Right?
Thank you.
I think we need it. I'm looking.
Turn over a new leaf.
A lot of people have to
motivated.
pay a
Looking
lot
right
for
at
this
you, Bill.
motivational speech.
Thanks for...
We'll turn over a new leaf. We will.
Okay.
I think it's important.
You know, speaking of new leaves, guys, I'm really excited for the guests we have on the show today. You know, we...
Good. I thought you were about to show your book that you collect leaves in.
Good.
Really? You thought I was going to do that?
Well, you always show it to me, and I don't want to see it. The worst times.
Okay, well, that's not what I'm going to do. I'm actually going to introduce the guests we
Your
got on the show
timing
today.
is off with that book. It's not
Frankly,
the
this
book.
would have been the best time. You had a great segue. You just said, speaking of a new leaf.
Okay, well, I'll think about that next time I want to show off my leaf book.
Well, you always try to show it to us while we're coaching.
And
or...
I don't want to be too critical, but kindergartners do those little leaf prints
Okay,
with the crayon.
this isn't about me, guys. This is about our guest today, who is the brand new music teacher at the school this year. Real good guy. His name's Marty Mountain. Marty, thanks for coming on the Teacher's
Welcome,
Lounge.
Marty.
Gentlemen, what a pleasure. Thank you so much for having me. I'm thrilled to be here.
Marty, not only is your singing voice beautiful, your talking voice is superb.
Bill, I will accept no compliments from you without giving you one in return. You are an excellent coach of the running arts.
Thank you very much. I needed that right now. If you could write that down and sign a sheet of paper, I'm looking to get signatures.
How's immediately sound?
Sounds good. Here it is.
we go.
Perfect. That was not on what I wanted it to be. It was on a little leaf of paper that has a music staff on it.
That is my mistake. I should have checked with you first to see what type of paper you would have preferred.
Wow, what
This
a
will do,
consummate
though. This will do.
professional.
I mean, Marty, that's it's actually funny. You actually have a reputation around the whole school these days of being just overly deferential to other people. You ask what other people want, and then you make it happen for them. You're not a very aggressive person.
Well, I try not to be. What I think is that people, they, especially if you're an outsider like me coming into a situation like this, and everyone has their own way of doing things, and you certainly want to go along, and you don't want to make any waves or ruffle any feathers. And my goal is just to make everyone feel good, and so the band can be as good as it possibly can be.
Yes,
You've backed into the corner a little bit here. You can come back and sit at the table with the rest of us.
yes.
Thank you very much. I certainly didn't want to intrude. This is my first time in the Teacher's Lounge.
Yeah, because honestly, last week it felt like during the football game, it felt like, okay, this is where the band normally comes out. This is when they play, and you held them off because you thought it was maybe the wrong time and it might have been rude to intrude.
Well, there's a certain etiquette. And of course, sports rules over all the school, as we all know. It's the bread and butter, as it were. But also, I didn't think the band was quite ready yet. Of course, they didn't have their instruments. Their instruments are coming any day now. They'll be here any day now.
And you have been fully practicing without these, correct?
We use something called the think method. It's called the think method, and I just have the band members. They hold in their hands an invisible representation of their instruments, and they think of the song that they're going to play. And so I conduct, and then they think the song, and I think it too, and then that's how we.
And
rehearse.
does anyone make any noise whatsoever, or you just kind of stand there and all nod at each other in time?
It wouldn't be called the think method if people were nodding. It would be called the nodding method, I suppose.
Right.
So they're standing pretty frozen.
They're allowed to move, but they just think the song. So all of our, and I pride myself on this, all of our rehearsals are completely silent.
Wow.
So we're not disturbing anyone.
A lot
That's
of people
beautiful
thought
music.
that you were maybe trying to do like a John Cage thing of like silent music, but you said, no, we're doing John Williams. This is all the John Williams hits.
That's right. And you could tell from the kids' gesticulations and their fingerings that they are clearly doing bombastic motion picture scores. John Cage, to the best of my recollection, just sat there.
Yes.
Yeah, because it looks like all of them are the director. It feels like the conductor, sorry. When they're thinking music, they're all wildly gesturing, really going big.
I won't lie. I think some of them are just imitating me because they don't grasp the finer points of the system. But
it's
that's
new.
fine.
It's new. We had a very different system. Last I heard, the last music teacher was more traditional. He would just sort of throw him some sheet music and say, "Have at it."
I'd heard that, and I understand that, and of course I respect that, my predecessor, and the idea of throwing someone into the deep end of the pool, as it were, and seeing how they do. But I take a different approach, and I feel that it's one thing to have the parents spend money on these instruments and then have the kids ding them up right away because they don't know how to play them yet. But my method, they get to know the instrument before it's even in their hands. And that way, they know how to treat it once it finally arrives.
It's kind of
which
like,
will be any day now.
It's kind of like the old, can you keep this egg alive all weekend? Like, are you ready to have a baby experiment that health classes do?
Which they've recently started doing instead of giving people actual babies and say, take care of this for the weekend.
Right. That was a huge scandal years ago where they adopted 60 children from a local hospital and gave babies to the entire class.
Now, you are very calm and cool, but were you at all hurt? Were your feelings hurt at all by the vocal heckling you got during the last performance? Somebody screamed, "What the hell is going on?" Old lady screamed, "This is quiet. Can I not hear?" And lost her mind. She thought she had gone deaf.
That was the loudest part of the concert when she started running around the room screaming, "Am I deaf? Am I deaf?"
The deaf guy kept screaming, "This is normal," also.
He always screams, "This is normal."
I think that deaf guy...
Well, he's taking one of my classes. He's trying to reassure himself.
I think
You
he
should
wants
start
to make
calling
sure...
that deaf guy your son. You should call him by his name.
No, I pulled a full... I pulled a full Daniel Plainview, and I shipped him right off when he went deaf. It was too much of an issue for me. So,
and by shipped him off, you shipped him across town, and he still goes to this school.
He goes to this school. He's actually doing very well. He has his own family. He's surpassed me as a father.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As a father.
And a husband.
Wow.
Yeah.
Man.
Your son is a better father than you'll ever be.
Well, the other day, he taught me how to install a toilet.
So you do have a relationship with
use
him.
that fucking information to get the poke toilet going.
Anyway,
I'm not
Bill.
calling my son back.
Anyway, Bill,
Sorry,
it did
Mr.
hurt my feelings.
Yeah, it did. Because you looked a little bit upset by it.
I try to be understanding that the think method is not something that's readily apparent to the layman. And, of course, I was ashamed about that old woman who just couldn't accept the vagaries of getting older. And, nothing lasts forever. I thought she was being a little bit over dramatic.
She also, I don't know if you guys saw
She can hear
this.
herself screaming.
I don't know if she grabbed
That should have been clue number one.
She grabbed a stethoscope from someone, put it in her
Someone?
ears, and
That was the doctor in the house.
Everybody was screaming if there was a doctor in the house.
But it was stethoscope day at the stadium.
and she screamed into the front part, trying to make sure that she could hear.
That's the cool.
What's it called?
There's a front and a back.
That's
the butt and the front
The
part.
stethoscope's bell.
Oh, okay, good. Now,
you learn something new every day.
I have a question for you, Marty. You used the think method in the band room, but
That's right.
I'm under the impression that you actually have expanded the think method outside of the music classroom, and this is more of a full life philosophy for you.
That's correct. There's nothing that you can't apply the think method to. It's handy in every situation, and it's not just for kids, it's for adults as well. All you have to do is think in a situation, how would this go? Act it out with your hands.
What if we tried
And then by
this?
the time, you're welcome to try. What's
What
the
if we try it
situation?
for the podcast?
Yeah, okay.
Well, here's I've always wanted to be a better cook. Can you use the think method to become a better
It
cook?
couldn't be simpler.
Okay.
Here's what I want you to do, Howard.
Okay.
Visualize a big pot.
Okay.
All
Got
right.
it.
Now, this is where it gets tricky. Visualize a big stove that you're putting the pot on top of.
Okay. Right in front of me here.
Can you see it?
I could see. I tell you, I'm looking. I'm in my brain. I'm visualizing my stove and pot from home.
That's what thinking is.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. All right. Yeah, I get it. So I've got the pot on the stove. Stove's on.
Now, well, you tell
Sorry.
me.
I'm sorry.
Is the stove on, or does it need to be turned on?
I think if I'm cooking, it probably needs to get turned on, huh?
Now you're using the think method.
Oh!
So you just reach forward, turn the knob, The stove is on.
And now, I'm cooking, boys.
You can see it, can't you?
I can.
Who can see Howard cooking right now?
I can see it. I see this. Now, what are you cooking, Howard?
I'm cooking a soup.
Yeah, I see that soup.
It's a perfect pot food.
Put in your favorite ingredients from your favorite soup right now.
Chicken, carrots, noodles.
This sounds like chicken
chicken
carrot
noodle
noodle.
It's my favorite chicken carrot noodle soup. Oh, my God. Marty, honestly, I think I could go home right now and I could cook a chicken carrot noodle soup if I wanted to.
Of course you could. It's the simplest thing in the world. You've already visualized it. You're more than halfway there.
Oh, man.
If you really want to save some time, visualize eating it.
Visualize it.
I am. And now, guys, I'm full.
You don't want that soup anymore.
I'm full.
Do you really feel full?
I feel full.
So
this
that's
is maybe a
interesting.
diet.
You
Some
sort
type
of
diet.
You're saying with this think method, you can think so far through a situation that you never actually have to do it.
You experience it.
Can I think method getting a divorce?
Absolutely you can.
All right, so I put my wife on the stove.
No, hold on a second. First, you do have to go to Mexico.
Oh, yes, of course.
That is something. The thing method is pretty good, but for this scenario, you will actually have to travel physically to Mexico. But once you're there, just think, I'm divorced. This is my new life. I no longer have a wife.
And stay there?
For, I think it's 2 weeks.
Don't tell her where I'm at.
You don't need to.
This seems more like I'm doing more than just making a fake soup. This doesn't feel like I'm thinking. I have to go to Mexico?
Isn't a marriage more than a soup?
A marriage takes a
to
lot
me,
more.
I've learned recently that it is, yes. That's something I've learned. Now,
Todd, what would you say are the ingredients of a marriage? Successful or unsuccessful?
Getting screamed at.
Check.
put that in the pot.
That's put that in the pot. But successful, I'll give you all the successful ingredients because that's what I'm learning now.
Okay.
Come back home after work. Or if you're not going to, notify your significant other where you're going to be going.
Right.
Do not get obsessed with high school theater in a way that makes you stop loving the woman that is supporting you. Don't ship off your deaf son.
This is starting. I'm seeing all the ingredients. You're stirring them up.
I'm stirring them up. Now, do I turn it on?
I'd say let's put a lid on that pot.
Great.
And let it simmer for a while.
All right. Now, for about 4 hours, I'll have myself a good marriage.
4 hours. I guess that's how long it takes to really
I'm going to call
marinate.
my ex-wife back. I'm going to call her up.
She has moved on. Todd.
Well, maybe now that she knows about this method. Now, can I ask you this?
Of course.
There was that article. Malcolm Gladwell wrote an article in the New Yorker about this, and the title was "The Stink Method?" ? And it really
Sounds
tore
familiar.
your theory to
That
pieces.
sounds familiar.
Yeah.
Yeah, I understand that not everyone will be on board with the think method. I have parents calling me every day saying, we paid good money for those instruments. Where are they? Why do your clothes look so new? And I say to those parents, what I say to the kids, you got to believe, you just got to think, and it'll come true.
Yeah, because I didn't want to bring it up because you have actually sort of had some really dark times in the past where you, of course, were teaching the think method to some doctors, which led to some children's deaths because they were performing.
Well, those children
think-
never should have been doctors.
Well,
And they shouldn't have been operating on each other.
fair enough. But you did teach. You told these children if they used the think method, they could cure their child friends' cancers
That's right.
and ailments. And these children committed so hard to the think method that they never sought out proper care.
Yeah.
Or did they not commit hard enough?
Yes, that's
Now,
what happened.
I want to.
Go ahead.
I want to go back for just 1 second because post think method, when these instruments didn't show up, your life, which you promised they will.
They are on their way.
And listen, there's no one I believe more, but your lifestyle did get much flashier.
Did it?
It almost
Lavish.
seemed like you came into a lot of money.
Really?
Yeah, on the day or two after the students brought in their payments for their instruments, it did seem
You pulled
like
up in a stretch limousine.
driving it also.
Yeah, you were. There wasn't any passengers. Usually, people get a chauffeur if they get rich. You drive a limousine.
Well, that's easily explained. I do a service that's similar to a Postmates sort of service where people will contact me via an app and they'll ask me to drive them to a place. I go to their residence and I say, imagine you're at the place that you want to go to. And then I pull away.
Now, this is interesting. Now, are you crashing these limos afterwards, or is this more of a safe drive?
Not all of them.
Yeah. Good. Same.
Yeah, because
Same.
it could be a point of connection between you two here.
Sam, a
getting
couple
over it,
years
yeah.
ago, was a limo driver, and he would constantly crash the limo. What was the name of your limousine service?
Crazy limos.
Crazy limos.
Crazy limos.
Right.
Yeah.
You would really get tossed around in the back of that.
Yeah, a lot of lights, a lot of movement. Some of the cars didn't have great suspension, you know. So
Or
yeah, there's
suspension
movement.
in general.
Yeah, a lot of them had blocks instead of springs.
Yeah, yes, which is almost a harder thing to achieve in a moving vehicle.
100%. It's almost
Replacing
like getting rid
suspension
of the
with
wheels.
blocks.
Correct. Yeah. So anyway, it went under.
Marty, I guess that is a good explanation for the limo.
It makes sense, doesn't it,
makes
Tom?
sense,
It makes
yeah.
perfect sense.
A lot of people have noticed, though, that even like on that limo, instead of the classic, Chrysler thing that you would have on the front,
The hood ornament.
Yeah.
you do have a trombone as your hood ornament.
Big trombone.
And it looks big and brand new.
Well, it's almost a full-size trombone, but it is, in fact, and I understand that the layman wouldn't be able to know this, it's
Right.
what we call a trombonette. It's a slightly smaller trombone that cannot be played. It is just for display purposes.
And
only.
it's about like a 7/8 size of a trombone. So
That's
it's
correct.
A pretty full trombone.
That's correct.
Yeah. And now this is very interesting. A lot of people again are mad about the instruments that they're not
They
not
are,
here
yeah.
yet, but they
They're
are
impatient.
excited by the fact that you're encouraging the kids to buy top dollar. You're encouraging the kids to buy, antique jazz instruments. Supposedly, you got some instruments that Satchmo himself has
From a
used.
store downtown, and the owner looks a lot like you.
I think I know the shop you're referring to. If I recall, the owner of that store is rather dashing gentleman, but as you can see, I have no mustache, and I believe he has one. So
That is true.
very
That's
true.
a good argument. He has a an insanely dark mustache.
Yeah.
That it's unbelievable. It doesn't even look natural. And I wish I could pull something off like that.
it does. But don't pull.
I wish I could.
I see what you're saying.
Pull off that look. What?
Forgive me.
Why'd you react to the phrase "pull it off"?
You jerked your head back and said, "Don't pull off that."
I was imagining that gentleman writhing around in pain at the thought of his very natural mustache being tugged upon by another full-grown man. Which I
What was
hope
this music
never
store
happens.
called again? This downtown music store was called
Farty Fountains.
Farty Fountains.
Yeah.
Farty Fountains
Which,
Music.
by the
Emporium,
way,
right?
very misleading. I had a very disappointing trip there a few months ago.
Because you have a fetish. A pretty gross fetish. You have a pretty disgusting fetish that you are. And you're
go
like,
around town
you
with
came
their
into the
fetish
teacher's lounge
to be
one day and you were like,
disgusting.
I
Yeah.
found it.
That's pretty rude. A fetish isn't a thing we
Perfect
choose.
for me.
A fetish isn't a thing we choose. It's a thing that sort of finds
Right,
us.
but
and he can't help it that he likes
It's a
that
disgusting
stuff.
quirk that you
While
can't help.
walking through a mall one day, I discovered that a thing
Is this an old song?
I was walking through the mall one day. I think it was the month of May. And I saw somebody who they had jumped in to get something they had dropped in the fountain. But as they jumped, they
Farted?
let out a little gas. And it turned me the hell on.
Oh, wow. You finally felt alive.
And so I ran straight to you guys. I screamed, I found it.
Hold on. Let's go back to just a second. A person fell in the fountain.
They jumped, from what I
They
understand.
jumped.
They
They
jumped.
jumped. Okay. So this
To grab change out of the fountain.
The change that was in midair,
Rather than
right?
just sort of bend over and reach in,
So-
or even wade
No,
into the
somebody
fountain.
was
you saw
tossing
someone
change
robbing
in.
the fountain.
Someone was tossing change and the person jumped in the way to intercept.
And
the
when they
change.
exerted energy to jump in the fountain, they farted.
Well,
Whoa! We all
Todd,
just
take it easy.
I can't. We raise your hand if you're
Take it
farting.
easy.
Raise your hand if you're farting. All of us
All
at the
of us.
same time again.
well,
You
yeah,
too, Mr. Mountains.
Oh, yes. My hand was raised.
So they leaped in. They didn't fart on the jump, but on the landing.
So as they were going under, there was a little
bubble went
bubble.
up, and I said, something else is bubbling up right now.
Really?
Yeah. And that of course, meaning my sexual urges. And so
So you came in, I remember the day. It's like you had seen God.
I was a new man that day. And so I figured I'll just Google farty fountains. And I'll see if I can find something similar to this fetish.
It's funny that you had just assumed that that's what the fetish would be called, farty fountain.
Well, I mean, you got to go with what you know.
Well, I had bounced around with water toots.
Yeah, because it's crazy because you put in water toots and Google said, "Did you mean farty fountains?"
And I said, you know what, Google? I think I did.
Yeah. Did you try tooling around in your junk folder?
Well, I tooled around in my junk folder for a bit just to see if anyone had emailed me about this fetish.
There's nothing good. You never find anything good in there.
There's never a good thing in my junk folder.
You got to check.
It's very disappointing when you're thinking of a fetish and you check your email and no one's emailed you about it.
Absolutely.
Because you feel so alone in the world.
Of course.
Look, I'm not gonna beat around the bush anymore. A lot of people think, Mr. Mountains, that you are taking advantage of the goodwill of our student body. And their parents.
Howard.
And stealing. I'm sorry.
This is not the place for your gotcha
I'm a
journalism.
whistleblower, guys. I'm a whistleblower, guys.
This is Matt Lauer over here. Fuck off, Levi's. Coming in here and putting the heat on him.
This is our new friend.
what this is
I'm
about.
giving him an opportunity to defend himself. That's what journalism's about. It's about confronting the issue and giving the person on the other side an opportunity to defend themselves. Can you say, with all confidence and certainty, that you have not used the thousands of dollars paid to you by parents,
beads of sweat forming on Mr. Mountain's head?
Can you say that you are not using that money to finance a wealth of personal activities?
Howard, I want to thank you for asking me that question. Because I'd be more than happy to answer it. Here's my answer. Take a look at the faces of those children in that band. None of them believed they could do such a thing, that they could be a team the way they are, that they could believe in themselves and hold their heads high when they're being held back at a football game or shut into a locked-door rehearsal in the auditorium. None of these kids ever thought, wow, I'm pretending to hold an instrument. Who would have thought that I'd ever get to this point? And then they still have a dream left, the dream of actually holding a real instrument. Are you going to take that away from those kids, Howard?
Sweat forming on Levi's head.
I get it.
Because it's been volleyed back to him very strong.
I get it. I understand.
Nice job, Mountains.
We don't need play-by-play here, Bill. We don't need play-by-play, all right?
Sorry.
I just think I understand your point of view here, sir, but I think fleecing this town's parents of thousands of dollars is not something that we can just stand by and allow to happen.
Well, now, Howard, I would say that fleecing is something you do to sheep, and I don't think of these parents as sheep. No, sir, I do not. I think of them as mighty lions who are protecting their children, as any parent should. And I wouldn't tell them to change their minds for all the world. I just ask them to be a little bit patient, because the hope that springs in their children's breasts will one day blossom forth in the form of real, live, honest-to-God, 3D, touchable instruments.
Well, have you got a shipping date or anything, Marty?
I wish I had that with me right now. I know it's written down somewhere.
I think this is bullshit. And I'm sorry.
Wow.
I'm sorry. I am sick of sitting by here and watching these kids get
he's turning into Alex Jones on the mic.
Yeah,
your shirt just popped off.
Yeah, I'm taking my shirt off because this is the kind of bullshit that I can't handle, okay? I'm not going to sit here and look at you guys buying into this guy's total bullshit while I'm supposed to be the person who's in charge of what's getting out in the public these days. This newspaper, it's going to crack this story, by God, Marty Mountain.
Jesus,
and
his
there
top
is
button is
nothing
busted.
that you can do or anyone can do. And I'll tell you what, Sandy Hook was a red herring. And I'll tell you this, too. 9/11 was committed by by George Bush himself. Dick Cheney killed somebody also. He shot that guy in the face with a shotgun because he wanted to cause trouble, okay? And I'll tell you what else is true, everybody. I'll tell you what else is true, okay? Colin Kaepernick.
Open a Bud Light.
Colin Kaepernick. He is responsible.
Cheetahman. Cheetahman.
Oh, good God. Get out of here, Cheetahman. Where's the road?
Cheetahman's in here. Oh, Cheetahman.
Cheetahman's
got him by the neck.
Get off of me, boy. Get off of me, boy.
Cheetahman,
Get
take
off
him
of me,
down.
boy.
Cheetahman.
I'm killing Cheetahman.
No.
Cheetahman is dead.
All right, so back to Marty. Now, Marty, your response?
Well, I think that Howard has every right to ask those questions, but I would say look at the two of us now and decide who seems to be a more reliable source.
One of you is relaxed, barely sweating. The other is
Barely sweating.
Cheetahman.
The other is standing shirtless
Cheetahman!
over a dead Jewish track star.
Cheetahman. Come back. This is a hate crime.
He's giving a mouth. He's giving a mouth to snout.
Come on. How many pumps do I do on his chest? Mouth to snout.
5 pumps.
Don't bring that motherfucker back to life.
Come back, Cheetahman.
He deserves to be dead.
Just imagine him being alive again.
Cheetahman.
Oh.
Come. Remember.
Use the think method. Use the think method.
Cheetahman's alive.
Are you kidding me? Are you fucking
Me and Cheetahman. We're going to synagogue. Me and Cheetahman.
Okay.
Oh, God, he's coming back to life. Are you
Yes.
kidding me?
Yes,
It's
Cheetahman.
working.
Yes, Cheetahman.
Throw him on
Cheetahman,
the
you're
stove.
back.
Throw him on the
Now-
stove.
Cheetahman, get in this pot.
Gentlemen, at the risk of sounding boastful, I will say that none of my children, although they have yet to hold an actual musical instrument, have died and needed to be brought back to life.
Wow.
So you're saying I'm the one that's weird?
I say no such thing, sir.
no.
You are free to draw your own conclusions.
His voice has changed. Even his talking voice has changed, Levi's.
What do you mean? The tone of my voice is different than it was at the beginning of this episode?
This is like Frost Nixon.
Hold on. The phone lines here are lighting up.
Wow.
It's like people heard us from other rooms and are calling in. Oh, well, we're recording live.
Yeah.
And the phone lines are lighting up.
Oh my God! And
What
these
do they have
seem-
to say?
These I don't know how I can tell this, but I can tell all of these phone numbers are coming from alt-right households.
I'll tell you how you can tell that. They've all changed their phone number. The new alt-right prefix is 666.
Oh.
That's how I knew
We're
I knew
co-opting.
that.
Makes sense.
The alt-right is co-opting the satanic movement.
I had no idea, Levi's.
That's
Well,
right.
this is going to be big, okay? Because I'm going to answer my when Bill O'Reilly comes tomorrow. I'm going to let him know that you choked out a Jewish student.
Oh. Well, we're going to make it the Jewish
that'll-
thing the first thing we say about him, not that he's obviously a cheetah. He's
Okay.
Jewish.
Oh, listen,
He's
as a Jewish man, for thousands of years we've been called cheetahs. And that is bringing up so much history that you don't understand by accusing Jews of being
Classic
cheetahs.
anti-Semitism. Look at these Jews' spots. That's classic.
Look at these Jews hunting antelopes at full speed.
I have never wanted to say this more than right now. Mr. Levi's, I'll see you in court.
Oh, yeah? You'll see me in court?
Yeah.
Great.
Guys, we're turning on each other now. Hey, come on now.
I will take him to TV court.
I'll see you there. Listen, we're about out of time on this episode.
How do we tie all this up?
I think we need to end this episode like we've ended all the rest of the episodes this season. We need to check in with our goals and our
Check in with our vision
our
board.
vision board.
Too much extemporaneous information that will never be tied up.
Well, I'll tell you this. My mission in life has just been changed completely.
Oh, no.
And
no.
that is
How?
to, one, turn this newspaper into the single most shared thing on the internet and in real life. And if
God,
I've got to
the
do it by
computer's
blowing
going-
the whistle on every single fucking conspiracy that exists in this world, then I'll do it.
I cannot believe it, but this live stream is being
That's right.
shared millions of times.
I just started live streaming on Facebook to see all my fans. Hi, everybody. Look at that. I've got 16,000 people watching this live stream right now. It seems like I've struck a chord with these people.
Oh, God, here he goes again.
Anyway,
Can people see this from different parts of the country?
they can.
Can you turn your phone slightly away so that I'm not
Oh, you don't
scene.
want me to show him you, Marty Mountains?
I'm a little shy.
All right, well, anyway, we'll see what happens next week when I start my crusade.
This is a new form of publicity that is seemingly catching hold for Mr. Levi's.
Yeah,
Power
anyway,
has really gone to his head.
what else is up?
I guess on my vision board, it's not as grand as taking over a school newspaper and pushing a hateful ideology. But my goal for next week is just to I'm going to use that pot that's simmering, and I'm going to get back in touch with my ex-wife and let her know some of the changes I've made as head of the Women's Studies program. And also I'll check back in about how well that funeral went. And make sure my bathroom is built. We're doing a second grand opening.
And what about your tickled stuff?
Oh, yeah. Well, that's the funeral.
Yes, that's
but yeah,
right.
that's right. I am competing in the semifinals of the Giggle Madness. Chuckle Madness.
Chuckle Madness.
Chuckle Madness.
So I hope I win that, yeah.
Yeah.
On my vision board, of course, just staying positive, look into the future. I unfortunately have to go to a funeral myself. Miss Caminiti, the science teacher.
She passed?
Well, we thought it was just going to be her eyes, but
A funeral for her eyes?
Turned
Now
out-
it's her whole body?
Her
Now
eyes
it's
got
her whole
infected,
body.
and the infection spread to her brain. Her brain exploded.
yeah, well, the
What?
burn just never went out. It wasn't an infection. It was that the heat kept going to the brain. And
The water was so hot. Condolences.
Yeah, thank you.
Condolences to the
I got
Caminiti
some
family.
things. Yes, thank you. And I'm also I got a little beach scene up here because I'm looking towards Mexico and I'm looking to see how I can help down there because, as we said, there's a lot of trouble down there.
A lot of
There's a lot of
bad
problems.
hombres.
There's a lot of
down there.
problems down there
So
south of
many
the border.
bad hombres. And
I also bought
bad-
some bad umbros down there.
there's mostly bad
Those
hombres.
shorts had holes all over them.
It was unbelievable.
Yeah.
I said, you all are some bad umbros,
Yeah.
sellers.
Yeah, they
What about you, Bill Cravy? What's
Yeah.
on your vision board?
You gonna nurse this
well,
obvious cheetah back to
obviously-
health so he can win some meats for you?
Obviously, Cheetahman is not going to return to the team now with the whole anti-America scandal and being choked out by Mr. Levi's to his death and then brought back to life. So I'm going to have to, I guess I'm going to have to just count on my teammates that I already have. Not mates. They're students.
You're running.
You are
They're not-
running.
I'm not running. Or am I? No, I'm not.
Well, Mountains, Marty,
Mountains?
this might be a segment that's really good for somebody like you who all you do is think. What's on your vision board, huh?
Well, obviously, I'm going to nag that music store for a hard deadline on delivery of those instruments. That's priority number one, and number two is just to keep inspiring the band here and keep giving them a reason to wake up in the morning.
I'm
Something to think
I'm getting
about.
a little interested in this music. I would love to go down to that music store with you if you wouldn't mind. to take me
Yeah,
down
could we
there.
go down there
I
with
think it's
you?
best if I go down there alone.
Maybe I'll sneak down there myself.
You're certainly well. When were you thinking of sneaking down there?
I'm going to keep that information to myself
All right,
because I can see right through your bullshit, Marty Mountains.
And I can see right into your pocket, and I see a fake mustache.
how do you know it's not a real mustache? That I
Because
keep
it's in your pocket.
I keep it for sentimental. It belonged to my grandfather, a wonderful man who taught me the think method himself.
Really?
And his final wish was that his mustache be removed from his face and kept intact and pocketable.
That makes
Unfortunately,
total
the only
sense.
way they could keep it intact was it's still connected to the lip.
That's true. That's what you don't see behind the mustaches, of course. my
Oh, I'm
grandfather's
so
lip.
sorry. I do see that.
How could you know,
bloody
Bill?
lip in your pocket?
How could you know?
And I've made a fool out of myself, and I'm sorry.
I've made a fool out of myself by correcting you.
Don't kiss his granddaddy's lip. Put that back in his pocket.
It's all right.
Okay, you mind if we pass around your granddaddy's lip and kiss it?
It's lucky. Here you go.
Mwah.
That's real.
Well, anyway,
That's a real man's lips. It's
Everybody.
Still, you can tell it was soft. It is now, of course, fossilized.
thank you, everybody, for listening to this episode of the Teacher's Lounge. We'll be back next week. And until then, stay flippy.
Flippy.
Class is out and the cold is on. I got a couple things on my chest to get off. Welcome to the